His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa, the Honorary President of the Royal Humanitarian Foundation, the RHF, issued a directive for the disbursement of the annual Eid al-Adha provisions to all families supported by the RHF for the year 1447 AH 2026. This directive comes in line with His Majesty's long-standing annual tradition on the occasion of the approaching Eid al-Adha. His Majesty the King instructed the RHF to take the necessary measures to ensure the prompt disbursement of the provisions to support families in meeting their needs. On the occasion, the representative of His Majesty the King for Humanitarian Works and Youth Affairs, His Highness Sheikh Nasser bin Hamad Al Khalifa, expressed gratitude to His Majesty for the continued support of the RHF and his generous care for the supported families. His Highness prayed to Allah Almighty to protect His Majesty, to grant him continued good health and well-being, and to count these initiatives among his good deeds. The Acting Secretary-General of the RHF, Ibrahim Dahrahan Al-Dosari, commended His Majesty's directive and underscored the Foundation's commitment to delivering comprehensive and high-quality services to beneficiaries, in line with His Majesty's vision. His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister, Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa, chaired the weekly Cabinet meeting at Gudaibiya Palace. The Cabinet welcomed the outcomes of His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa's meeting with the Chairman of the Transitional Sovereignty Council of Sudan, Lieutenant General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan, during his visit to Bahrain. Marking the 45th anniversary of the establishment of the GCC Council, the Cabinet congratulated His Majesty the King and GCC leaders. The Cabinet extended its wishes of success to students across all educational stages in their end-of-year examinations for the 2025 to 2026 academic year. It also commended the efforts of the Defence, Security and all relevant authorities, which resulted in the completion of maintenance works and the containment of damages sustained by the Gulf Petrochemical Industries Company facility due to the hostile Iranian aggression. The Cabinet also expressed its thanks to nearby residents for their cooperation. The Cabinet condemned and denounced the blatant terrorist attack targeting the security and stability of Saudi Arabia using 3 drones launched from Iraqi airspace, as well as the terrorist drone attack against the UAE, which caused a fire along the perimeter of the Barakah nuclear power plant in the Al Dhafra region. The Cabinet also condemned the terrorist plot linked to Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, which sought to undermine Kuwait's security and stability through an unlawful maritime infiltration attempt via its territorial waters, aimed at carrying out hostile attacks against the country. The Cabinet then reviewed measures taken to address the impact of the hostile Iranian aggression against Bahrain. The Cabinet reviewed several memoranda submitted by the ministerial committees and ministers, approving the following: procedures for implementing the decisions of the 19th Consultative Meeting of the Leaders of the Gulf Cooperation Council member states, the Framework Agreement and Agency Agreement between Bahrain and the Islamic Development Bank to finance the King Faisal Highway Development Project in the Kingdom, the Framework Agreement and Agency Agreement between Bahrain and the Islamic Development Bank to finance the Salman Industrial City Expansion Project in the Kingdom, a draft decree regulating the Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs and a draft decree regulating the Islamic Endowments Affairs, a Memorandum of Understanding between the Supreme Council of Health and Lean Business Services Company in Saudi Arabia, the Government's response to several proposed laws and proposals submitted by the Council of Representatives. The Cabinet also reviewed the following reports: the outcomes of participation in the extraordinary meeting of the Ministers of Interior of the GCC member states, the Minister of Interior's visit to Kuwait, Bahrain's presidency of the UN Security Council meetings during April 2026. His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister, Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa, received the Director of the Middle East and Central Asia Department at the International Monetary Fund to the IMF, Dr. Jihad Assour, at Gudaibiya Palace. His Royal Highness affirmed that Bahrain's commitment to economic diversification and openness has played a key role in advancing the kingdom's economic and financial development, strengthening its position as a dynamic regional and international hub for these sectors. His Royal Highness outlined that Bahrain continues to implement its development plans that aim to promote sustainable growth and create quality opportunities, which support the kingdom's wider economic efforts and goals. During the meeting, issues of mutual interest and the latest regional and international economic developments were also discussed. The Minister of Cabinet Affairs, Hamad bin Faisal Al Malki, also attended the meeting. The BDF General Command announced that all its services and units are at the highest levels of readiness and full defensive preparedness. The General Command expressed pride in the advanced combat readiness and high vigilance demonstrated by its personnel in carrying out the national duties to defend the kingdom and safeguard its achievements. It urged the public to exercise caution regarding any unfamiliar or suspicious objects resulting from the Iranian hostile attacks and to avoid approaching or handling them. The General Command affirmed that personnel of the Royal Field Engineering Unit remain fully prepared to safely deal with such objects, ensuring the safety of all citizens and residents.
إن الأداء المشرف الذي يسطره رجال قوى الدفاع البحرين يبعث على طمأنينة وثقة راسخة بأن سماء ومياه وأراضي مملكة البحرين مصونة بعون الله. إن ينصركم الله فلا غالب لكم.
Foreign Affairs Minister Dr. Abdulatif bin Rashid Al Zayani held a phone call with UAE Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs, His Highness Sheikh Abdullah bin Zayed Al Nahyan. The Bahraini minister expressed the kingdom's strong condemnation of the serious terrorist attack on the UAE today, in which drones caused a fire outside the inner perimeter of Barakah nuclear power plant in Al Dhafra. He described the ongoing attacks in the UAE as a blatant violation of international law and UN Security Council Resolution 2817 and reiterated that Bahrain stands firmly with UAE, supporting any measures it takes to preserve its sovereignty, security and stability and to protect its citizens and residents. His Highness Sheikh Abdullah bin Zayed affirmed the UAE Armed Forces' full readiness to respond to any aggression and thanked Bahrain for its sincere solidarity and supportive stance, reflecting the deep fraternal ties between the two countries' leaderships and peoples. The Minister of Foreign Affairs, Dr. Abdulatif Al Zayani, attended a meeting with ambassadors of EU member states accredited to Bahrain. The meeting was hosted by the Ambassador of Cyprus, Dr. Andreas Eladiz, marking the conclusion of Cyprus's presidency of the EU Council. The Minister commended Cyprus's efforts during its presidency and reaffirmed the strength of Bahrain's ties with EU member states, highlighting Bahrain's commitment to further strengthening cooperation and partnership with the European Union, including within the UN Security Council. He welcomed European countries' condemnation of Iranian attacks targeting Bahrain, GCC countries and Jordan, and praised the firm stance, calling on Iran to cease its actions and end the closure of the Strait of Hormuz, and stressing the importance of safeguarding freedom of navigation in accordance with international law. He further emphasised dialogue and diplomacy as essential tools to resolve regional crises and urged the international community to intensify efforts to end conflict in the Middle East, to preserve regional and international security and stability. The ambassadors reaffirmed their solidarity with Bahrain and the GCC, condemned Iran's closure of the Strait of Hormuz and stressed its potential impact on global energy supplies, food security and international trade. Bahrain strongly condemned and denounced the terrorist drone attack against the UAE, which caused a fire on the perimeter of Barakah nuclear power plant in Al Dhafra region. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs stressed that the attack constitutes a flagrant violation of international law, the UN Charter and principles of good neighbourliness and UN Security Council Resolution 2817. The Ministry commended Abu Dhabi's air defence forces for the highly professional response and swift precautionary measures that maintained the highest safety standards, resulting in no casualties and no impact on radiation safety levels. The Ministry reaffirmed Bahrain's absolute solidarity with the UAE, expressing full support for all legitimate measures taken to safeguard the UAE's sovereignty, security and vital infrastructure against ongoing aggression. It also emphasised that this stance is rooted in long-standing ties and renewed its call for enhanced regional and international cooperation to protect civilian and vital facilities and sustain global and regional peace. Bahrain strongly condemned and denounced the blatant terrorist attack targeting the security of Saudi Arabia via 3 drones launched from Iraqi airspace. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs views this as a dangerous regional escalation, a flagrant violation of international law and good neighbourliness, and a breach of United Nations Security Council Resolution 2817. The Ministry affirmed Bahrain's full solidarity with Saudi Arabia, supporting all the measures it takes to safeguard its sovereignty, security and people, emphasising that this stance reflects the deep ties between the two nations. It also praised the vigilance of Saudi air defence forces in intercepting and destroying the drones. The Ministry reiterated Bahrain's call for Iraq to take immediate, decisive action to hold the perpetrators accountable and prevent its territory or airspace from being used for hostile acts against neighbouring states. It further renewed its call for enhanced regional and international cooperation to protect civilians and critical infrastructure and to safeguard regional peace and security. As part of ongoing government efforts to improve service quality and re-engineer procedures, the Survey and Land Registration Bureau, the SLRB, developed the Survey Certificate Request Service. Under the upgraded service, the processing time has been reduced to 3 working days from 5. Application and information submission procedures have also been automated, while the service level agreement duration has been reduced by more than 25%, with the service now fully available through digital channels. The president of the SLRB, Basim Al-Hamar, said this development reflects the Bureau's adoption of innovative digital solutions aimed at improving efficiency, enhancing user experience and simplifying procedures. He noted that the Bureau continues to implement development initiatives in line with the government's digital transformation approach and efforts to improve service quality. The Ministry of Municipalities Affairs and Agriculture and the National Initiative for Agricultural Development (NIAD) signed an MOU between the Ministry's Agriculture and Animal Welfare Affairs sector and NIAD to strengthen cooperation in implementing specialised training programmes for agricultural entrepreneurs. The Minister of Municipality Affairs and Agriculture, Wael Al-Mubarak, said the signing of the MOU comes within the framework of the existing partnership to develop the agricultural sector in the Kingdom in line with the vision of His Majesty the King and the directives of His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister to support entrepreneurs in engaging in agricultural investment projects. He highlighted the support to the agricultural sector by Her Royal Highness, the wife of His Majesty the King and President of the Consultative Council of NIAD, through programmes dedicated to farmers. The Secretary-General of NIAD, Sheikh Maram bint Isa Al Khalifa, affirmed that the MOU represents an important step towards unifying efforts and exchanging expertise between the two sides, contributing to preparing and qualifying entrepreneurs with the skills and knowledge necessary to manage agricultural projects efficiently and sustainably. Minister of Justice, Islamic Affairs and Waqf and the Chair of the Higher Committee for Hajj and Umrah, Nawaf Al-Muada, yesterday saw off the first Bahraini pilgrims at Bahrain International Airport. The Under-Secretary for Justice and Islamic Affairs, Judge Isa Sami Al-Manai, and other ministry and mission officials were present. The Minister said pilgrims receive continuous support from His Majesty the King and with the directives of His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister, ensuring services that guarantee pilgrims' comfort, safety and ease in performing Hajj. He commended Saudi Arabia's efforts, led by custodian of the 2 holy mosques and overseen by His Royal Highness the Saudi Crown Prince and Prime Minister, in facilitating the pilgrimage. He added that Bahrain's Hajj mission will provide the round-the-clock support through qualified national staff. Housing and Urban Planning Minister Amna Abramehi led Bahrain's delegation to the 13th World Urban Forum in Baku, attended by international leaders, policymakers, experts and organisations on urban development and sustainable housing. She said Bahrain continues its national efforts to provide housing services for citizens, noting the government is implementing the Royal Directive to accelerate housing projects and deliver 50,000 housing units. She stressed that adequate housing is an integrated development priority, a foundation for social stability and a driver of economic growth, and that these principles are central to Bahrain Economic Vision 2030 and the Government Programme 2023 to 2026. She added that the government prioritises construction and infrastructure development as essential to sustainable urban development. On the theme of resilient cities, the Minister outlined Bahrain's response to damage in several residential areas following recent hostile Iranian attacks, saying the Kingdom demonstrated advanced institutional readiness and effective coordination among agencies, which helped families return home quickly. The Minister also took part in the forum's Women's Assembly, noting that Bahrain has moved from empowering women to fully partnering with them in national development to achieve inclusive, sustainable growth. She highlighted that the Ministry is developing housing services that strengthen family stability and ensure women's equitable access to suitable housing. A signing ceremony was held for a landmark agreement between the National Cybersecurity Centre and the Global DEFCON Conference, which is held under the patronage of His Royal Highness the Crown Prince, Deputy Supreme Commander of the Armed Forces and Prime Minister. The agreement designates Bahrain as the host for DEFCON Middle East, a fully fledged edition of the conference and the first of its kind to be held in the Middle East region. On the occasion, the CEO of the National Cybersecurity Centre, Sheikh Salman bin Mohammed Al Khalifa, stated that hosting DEFCON Middle East in Bahrain represents a strategic milestone that reflects the Kingdom's advanced standing in the field of cybersecurity. He emphasised that this partnership embodies the international community's confidence in Bahrain's national expertise and its sophisticated digital infrastructure, noting that DEFCON stands among the most prominent and largest cybersecurity conferences in the world, attracting tens of thousands of experts, specialists, researchers and enthusiasts from across the globe each year, and serving as a leading platform that brings together cutting-edge technical expertise and a culture of innovation in cybersecurity.
DEFCON coming to Bahrain, I think, is the natural location in the Middle East because Bahrain is central, it's accepting, it's international. I think when experts come in, it's easy, I think, for them to feel at home. And Bahrain is very welcoming. Many different cultures, and I think it's like the Middle East, I tell my friends, in sort of easy mode. And because of that, that I think if I want to bring in outside experts and I want to build a local community and I want the two groups to mix with each other, I need a good neutral place for the two sides to meet. And I think Bahrain is a really good location.
Bahrain's Parliamentary Division delegation participated in the opening session of the 18th General Assembly meeting of the Arab Parliamentary Scouts Union held in Morocco. MP Mohammed Al-Alawi emphasised the national security has become an integrated system that begins with building an informed and aware individual capable of discernment and grounded in national belonging and social responsibility, ultimately contributing to safeguarding the state's stability and preserving internal cohesion. He added that the rapid regional transformations and developments necessitated redefining the role of youth and scouting institutions, not merely as platforms for activities, but as active national partners in consolidating stability, promoting awareness and safeguarding the future of Arab nations. During 2025, the Economic Development Board achieved significant successes, reflecting the vital role it plays in supporting economic development initiatives and enhancing Bahrain's competitiveness at the regional and international levels. More in this report.
Through ambitious economic visions and forward-looking initiatives, the Economic Development Board EDB continues to strengthen Bahrain's position as an attractive investment destination, regionally and internationally. Aligned with this 2026 strategy, the EDB is focusing on priority domains and new initiatives to showcase Bahrain's competitive advantages and draw investment from key global markets, underlining the economy's resilience and growth potential. In 2025, the ADB achieved record results, attracting a total of 942 million Bahraini dinars in direct local, regional and international investment across 107 projects, the highest since its establishment. These projects are expected to create over 5,800 new jobs in the next 3 years. Investments covered vital sectors, including industry, tourism, financial services, ICT and logistics. The industrial domain took the largest share, reflecting rising investor confidence in Bahrain's advanced industrial base and export potential. Tourism and financial services also continued to grow, supported by expanding hospitality sector and Bahrain's role as a regional financial hub. The ADB remains committed to attracting quality investment and opening broader avenues for sustainable growth, supporting the kingdom's long-term ambitions with confidence.
Bahrain achieved second place in the Gulf and fourth place in the Arab world, according to the ranking of the best education systems in Arab countries for the year 2026. This reflects Bahrain's efforts that aim to develop the education sector through updating curricula and enhancing the quality of education and its outcomes. More in this report.
As part of ongoing efforts to advance the education sector, Bahrain continues to achieve new milestones, most recently ranking second in the GCC and fourth across the Arab world in the 2026 classification of the best education systems in Arab states. The ranking highlights the effectiveness of Bahrain's educational policies, the strength of its curricula, the quality of the school environment, and the readiness of teaching staff, as well as the ability of academic institutions to adapt to digital transformation and modern labor market demands. The progress is the result of sustained government investment in educational infrastructure, smart programs, and digital learning, alongside support for innovative and scientific research, helping build a more competitive and sustainable education system. The achievement further strengthens Bahrain's position as a regional hub for quality education and reflects the success of national strategies aimed at enhancing educational outcomes and achieving sustainable human development in line with the Bahrain Economic Vision 2030. The ranking also serves as a motivation to continue developing the kingdom's education system and strengthening partnership between educational institutions and the public and private sectors to ensure high-quality education that keeps pace with global developments and meets the aspirations of future generations.